Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I heard that the previous speaker didn't show up, so I'm starting 5 minutes ahead of time. Hope it's okay. All right, just give us some time to maybe have discussion at the end of the talk. I'm Amina Faham. I work at Dow. I'm based in Switzerland, supporting the business in Western Europe. I have control release oral dosage form background with the PhD in pharmaceutical sciences. So I'm here today to talk to you about what is really the latest in the innovation when it comes to immediate release and modified release dosage forms. Okay. We do know for a fact, and I think everyone here in the room would agree that there are a lot of pressures in the market, in the pharmaceutical industry, but we can have a lot of debate on it, but people would agree, right, that really the high quality, consistency at a very sharp cost are very important, right? So bearing this in mind, I would like to walk you through, during this 20-25 minutes talk, about the new hypromilons in direct compression, DC2, not DC1, because we have launched this earlier 2 years ago, but we wanted to really keep our leading efforts when it comes to control release dosage forms formulation, as well as solubilization. I mean, we launched last year the AFFINISOL HPMC-AS, but we keep doing a lot of innovation behind it, how we can make it productive, okay, and how we can make even the current grade of HPMC that are currently compliant with the regulatory requirements, which is very important, right, to come up with new stuff, but still approved, globally accepted. And then we wrap up the whole presentation by mentioning the key takeaway messages. So let's start with the direct compression product. DC2, as I said, we launched about 2 years ago, a product called DC1. But I mean, we had some success with it, but some customers really complained about the low density of this product. So it works just fine, but they had to really change the filling die, right, each time they use DC2, which is not very convenient, right? So it is nice, but not nice enough. So we said, okay, how we can really fill that gap? We have nice flow, how we can also increase the density, right? So that's why we come up with DC2. Again, it's simply HPMC, with improved physical properties, all right? So currently, we have 3 products, DC2, K100 LV, K4M, K100M, simply because these are our big volumes, but doesn't mean we cannot make other grades, other molecular weights or viscosity in the future if there is a need, okay? What's new here, it's really using an innovative technology proper to Dow, where we really play with the morphology. So we made the particle size, more distribution, more consistent, but also, and most importantly, I would say, decreasing the fibrous morphology, which really make the flow a little bit, not proper, right? So by doing this morphology improvement, we are not touching the chemistry here. Right, we're talking the same exact product, making some fine-tuning when it comes to physical properties, or most importantly, the morphology of the particles. Actually, you improve the flowability, which means people can really use very simple, cost-effective manufacturing processes like direct compression and roller compaction, as well as which means really not use the wet granulation. It's a very nice process, it works fine, right? But sometimes people really need to go for direct compression or other processes just to save costs, right? Make it really straightforward. And also very good for APIs that have, heat and maybe moisture sensitivity, which really causes a lot of stability issues later on in the manufacturing stage. What's the value after this? Come on, I mean, it's cost, right? It's make the process faster, cheaper, and making a really cost saving about it. But most importantly, consistency. When you have a product that flows very well, and I'm sure many people here have experience in, direct compression or even in compression in general, the flowability and compactability of your product or dry blend is very crucial to make a consistent tablet weight with a very consistent API content uniformity, but when it comes to control release, you have one additional attribute, which is the drug release performance. This shows the evolution of Metocell, right? Metocell have been around for more than 50 years, which means it's a very trust product, well established, with an excellent, how to say, safety record, which is extremely important, right? So we come up in here, we really, lead the market in this category, but we said, okay, how we can upgrade this product and make it even more, how to say, focused on control release application. And that's why we come up with the CR grade, which more consistent particle size distribution. And we even went further to really, or farther, I would say, by tightening the specification, because we discussed with the regulatory bodies like FDA, EMA, to make sure that people filing with Metocell and with tighter specification, they still have the approval, and this is not going to be a problem for them. And we did this really to support the quality by design initiative that people are really taking, but at the end of the day, allowing people to make more robust and optimize modified release performance. Sorry. And then recently, as I said, 3 years ago, really ahead of anybody, to come up with a DC direct compression grade, because we knew at that time that cost is going to be a big player on the plate. You can come up with the best formulation ever, but if it costs a lot of money, just forget about it. You will never get the approval from the upper management to move forward with it. So the cost plays a role. We like it or not, this is the reality. Okay, which is fine, right? Because at the end of the day, we want everybody to afford that medicine, right? And then so we come up with the market. We came to the market with more improved or better, a better product with a better physical properties in terms of flowability, that allowing people to use more cost-effective or more sharp cost manufacturing process. And again, consistency. So bearing this in mind, please, I will drive you all through some application data. And we developed all this with really two main things, two main goals in our minds. Is really the consistency, and trust. It's very important that people really trust a product, right? Because it's about our safety. At the end of the day, it may be my son taking the medicine, and I want the drug to do what it's supposed to do every time my son takes that medicine. It's very important, the consistency. And I trust that brand or that product, okay? So getting more and more in depth in the subject in here just a table summarizing the differences between a CR grade Metocell and a DC grade. And then you see here, these are really a summary of the key attributes, chemical and physical attributes. And you see in black everything is the same. The red one really highlights the main differences, which is really about the flow. So the point here is chemically are identical, which means are globally accepted and globally, it's meeting all the regulatory requirements. So there is no really a burden in here. And this is how it looks like, actually, using this, innovative technology in our manufacturing plant. And we are, by the way, investing also to make this a technology really up and running to make large production batches. This is the CR grade, which has, it's a mix of everything, right? It flows just fine. People have been using it for more than 30 or 40 years, right? So it has proven its performance. And so you see here, it's a mix of large, flat, ribbon-like fibers, and then here using this technology with changing the particle morphology and particle size, so we can hit a wider range of particle morphology and size. And you see it's more round and agglomerated particles. This is the only difference between CR and DC2. It's good to talk about a product, but if there is no proven data, it's going to be hard, right, to really make people feel comfortable in using that product. So this is just two processes, direct compression, oral compaction, working with our partners, and distributors, ColorCon, where we used, naproxen, but also we worked with Rubicon to do more large-scale production scale, but also we did production scale with Merck company up in far away in Canada. We still have not received the data yet, but this is a nice example of scale-up with different two different APIs, which means different drug load, right? Different particles, shape, and so on. So it's it was very useful data, and these are the data, the drug that we really actually we use them within Dow in Midland, Michigan, and Mamletz, Germany. So some examples. Metformin. I mean, who doesn't know metformin? It's very difficult API to work with, right? It's high drug load. So we use really typical matrix formulation. There is nothing unusual with the formulations. I will skip that one to talk about. But, and this is just a background of the formulation or the process itself. Again, nothing unusual with the manufacturing process. I just want to pinpoint one thing is that we wanted to actually do the compression profile. So we use a wider range of compression force, going from 13 to 35 kilonewton, right? But we had to target somehow at one point, you know, one compression force to really make the compression of the metformin batch. And this is the results actually for weight uniformity. And you see here, this is a DC2, and this is the CR. Again, the weight variation, it is within the specification, right? But the big difference with DC2, it's really within tighter specification. And again, I would repeat myself, and I apologize for this, consistency, which is very, very important. And by the way, we kept the field depth the same, exactly the same way, you know, doing a CR or doing the DC2. But this is because this is the reason why we came up with DC2 and not, we didn't stay with the DC1, because the density was really a key thing here. Hardness, okay, and then you have here again DC2 and the CR. I must pinpoint something. You know, when you are looking into improving something, this is at the work life or even at the personal family life or, you know, outside the work, when you want to improve something, you get to give, somehow you have to give up something, right? You cannot, if you want to have, you know, for this, for example, you want to have a flow that is very, very, very excellent. You want to have a very good control release performance. You want to have a good hardness. I mean, you need to find an optimum or balance between, excuse me, these three key attributes, right? So, for this formulation, or even in the other formulation, I must say, we see a trend that with DC2, you get to have very good tablet weight variation, very nice content uniformity, and tablet hardness are always a little bit below or lower than the CR, which makes a lot of sense because of the particle morphology. Okay? If you want to have further details, we can discuss it offline. This is the release profile, actually comparing to the commercial. There is nothing, you know, it's really boring. Same, because chemically are not different. You know, the only thing is really the morphology of the particle to make the powder flows better. This is an example for the direct compression, and then for dry granulation. Again, we use the same API, and then this is some information about the process. Nothing unusual here. We really use the typical dry compression parameters. And here's some information about the compression force, and again, excuse me, with the CR, the hardness in here, the CR is about, you know, 12, 13 plus minus 2%, where the DC2 is again more consistent and less variation. Tablet properties, weight, and hardness, same thing. You know, and here we are showing the individual points. It's not average. It's every individual point. So that we take a sample every, you know, 5 minutes or every 10 minutes, depending the size of the batch actually. And this is the release profile compared to the commercial. But we really, the objective was not really to match the commercial, but we did it just for curiosity, actually. And you see here with the CR grade, we didn't really, after how many hours, we didn't get 100%. We had to maybe get a longer time, or maybe because of the content uniformity wasn't that good. So in a summary, a DC2, it is really an upgrade of a DC1, you know, and we did this really, we were very keen to bring this to the market, you know, to again keep our leading efforts in the control release solid dosage forms formulation. And I hope that through this presentation you have seen how consistent are the tablet in terms of physical properties, tablet weight, variation, content uniformity, as well as the drug release performance. And if you want to know more about the scale of data or other APIs, please let us know. We're at the booth in here. Will be present at the IAPS, of course, in San Antonio, but also in API China in November. Now, forget a little bit about the compression with DC2. I'm jumping into solubilization, which is another hot topic. We do know more and more API coming to the market have very poor water solubility, and for many of these APIs using existing commercial products that are in the market, they really fail phase 2, phase 3 clinical studies, because for that specific APIs, you got to find that sweet spot actually on the HPMC-AS, for example, or the other polymers that you use in the solubilization enhancement to really get to increase the solubilization or solubility of that API. It is not a me-too product, please. HPMC-AS has been around for a while. That's true. There are great products in the market. It's true. Okay. These are the great that we have in the market as well. But we are coming up again. Keeping innovating because the needs really evolve, right? Are different, and then APIs are different. So we need to keep or find a product that really help that specific APIs, right? So I will talk about it on high productivity, again, make the manufacturing process costly effective, and also, why not on the existing grades? Why not just HPMC, high promilose? Who doesn't know high promilose? There are thousands of publications, thousands of drugs, or medicines that are out there. So it has excellent safety records. Regulatory agencies are familiar with it. Very excellent mechanical properties. You take any high promilose, it really does the work, right? So we said, okay, how we can make it useful for solubilization enhancement, okay? The features, again, as I said, it's not a me-too product. It's really, we can make custom-made grades that, again, remember the sweet spot for that specific APIs. It's not easy to do, but with our understanding, scientific understanding of the polymer chemistry, polymer design, we can make those grades, as you will see in a minute. The benefit, increase the solubility of the water solubility of those APIs, right? Making it for solid dispersion and hot melt extrusion. And again, product optimization, because it comes down to consistency, right? So now for HPMC, HME in hot melt extrusion, for this one actually, it really, we reprocess it somehow, redesign it somehow to really make a better processing window going from 110 to 100 with the TJ of 110 to 120 makes it really processable with very minimal change, color change, which is very important, as you will see in a second. Readily extrudable, it's very neat polymer as low as 150 or high as 205, so we cover a wide range of APIs. And we can do it for IR. You can do it for IR and CR application because it does come with a wide range of molecular weights. As you can see here on the left side, it is really big, chunk, dark piece of HPMC that we try to extrude. It doesn't work. You take an existing HPMC, low viscosity, or any type of molecular weight, it doesn't work. You get this, So, and this is the new HPMC, again, within the current regulatory requirements. With some minor modification, we can make, those different HPMC, or what we call AFFINISOL HPMC, extruded at different temperature, 150 or 180, and then with the API, itraconazole, processed at 165 degrees C, and you see this translucid strands, and the color just goes clear and clear without, the main point, there is no color change, actually. The other key point when it comes to hot melt extrusion, and maybe people are familiar with it in here, if you compare, this is a regular LV grade of HPMC, and this is the AFFINISOL, this is a higher viscosity, we're talking here low viscosity, and you see here, it fails because it takes a higher pressure, and the machine just can't deal with it, so it should actually shut off or shut down the machine, right? And with AFFINISOL, you can still go to higher pressure, and you still, extrude the product. And you will see some example with griseofulvin in here, which is a BCS class 2. And one thing here, it has a melting point of 220 degrees C, where the barrel temperature, or I would say the temperature I used to really extrude the material, it was about 180, which means that the API wasn't melted, but it was dissolved within the polymer, okay? With a drug load of 10 and 20, and then, okay, we use different viscosities, which is to see if it's really something you can do or not, and very important for people who are looking for also control release profile. Some XRD diffraction, very nice. When you have peaks, it's crystal. When you have lean light, it's good, it's amorphous, and you see here, griseofulvin in red, it's a lot of peaks, and then physical mixture, just not processed as well. You see small peaks in here, but the blue and purple, very nice, very amorphous extrudate. And this is the release profile. So you can still increase the solubility of your API, but you can also modulate the drug release rate depending on which is your, release extent that you are targeting. We took the extruded, we did, okay, let's try to do extruded, the same thing. Some of them just keep them as is, or maybe mill them and make tablets, or just make a physical mix, not process them, not go through the HME, and also make tablet of it and see what will happen. And you see here some, with the yellow one is the extruded material that we milled and make tablets, and this one, it's not extruded, it's just physical mix, and you see here, with the very minimum viscosity of the material, you get 24 hours, even after 24 hours, you still get that super saturation film. This is with the glycoside. Different is the same trend. After 1 month of storage, so it's very, very good stability. And we also have 3 months and 6 months at their ICH conditions. This is just as an FYI, and we looked into wider range. This is some of them we worked with actually companies. We'll be launching this very, very soon. The point I would like to make is this HME with HPMC does not require a plasticizer. So which means that people really can make a formulation that are meant for even supersaturation or for control IR or for control release formulation. And wider range of temperature, which is very, very important and key, one of the key challenges actually people really face in the HME. Current status, it's very nice to hear about things, but what is it about, Again, excellent safety records, it's been around for a while within the current regulatory environment. It's not in the USB, we are working on it, so it's not a big deal. Commercial, we have already done commercial scale, so it's really worked very well. And then, again, samples are available at any type, different sample size. Now for high productivity, I think it's very nice to have polymer like HPMC-AS for solubility enhancement, but what we can do to really reduce the total cost of manufacturing. So how we can make it high productive, how we can increase the solid content, but still bring the material to the nozzle, right? This is for spray drying application. And you see here, the acetone viscosity is a very, very good indicator versus the polymer concentrations. And these are the spray drying limits, comparing with the commercial existing product in the market. And this is the AFFINISOL HPMC-AS high productivity. So we almost doubled the polymer concentration to get it to the spray nozzle without any issue, okay? So still using, again, very important, current product, but with improved properties that allow to increase the polymer concentration or polymer load and still have the spray drying process going, as usual. So it's very, very improved processability and also increasing the flexibility of that. More information about the spray drying nozzle performance. You see the nozzle pressure is very important, So we still have the same nozzle pressure, although we almost doubled the polymer concentration. And then the TJ polymer, again, is very critical, right? That is almost the same or even similar to what you have currently in the market. This is a nice slide because it shows that we have seen so far that everything is very good, right? Everything is positive, improving processability, flexibility, consistency, trust within the current regulatory environment, which is fantastic. However, for this type of application, it does work, or it did work for many, many compounds, but for some compounds, this is the green is our product, it doesn't work that well. However, because we have that flexibility in making the polymer with different substitution level, we can make polymers at HPMC-AS that really will fit that. You remember the sweet spot of that API? That's what we can do. You can play with the substitution level of the acetyl and succinyl to really find the right product for the right API. And that's why with the current product in the market, which work just fine and they are great, but more than 40% fail phase 3 clinical studies, right? So we got to do something about it. And maybe the current substitution rate doesn't allow that specific API to enhance its solubility. Okay, I'm on time, 5 minutes. So this is the latest for HPMC-AS with the HP high throughput, which is very important, almost double the polymer content, which is very important, meeting the current regulation, current monograph. There is no work from our side to do here, and of course, sample available directly from us, from down. So key takeaway, again, going back to my, when I start the discussion on the presentation, there are two things people really looking forward to it or looking for it is really how we can make high quality product at very efficient cost. So I think it's very important to come up to the market with a new product, but still within the current regulatory compliant, because it doesn't really add one, a roadblock for you when you file for that. So for Metocell DC2, again, it's really saving time because you don't need to go for one generation, eliminating a lot of process step. Especially now with the quality by design, looking into key process parameters, it takes a lot of time. So it's very important achieving, again, reproducibility and consistency. And for HPMC-AS, looking into how we can make the product works better and better for a wider range of the API with different water solubility. So again, achieving and maintaining a nice supersaturation on a larger period of time, and also increasing the productivity for higher solid polymer content, meeting the current requirement, which is very, very important. And I thank you for your attention.